So, how to stop being homophobic? When I was younger, I was raised Muslim. And back then, a lot of people were really homophobic, especially me. And I think, one of the ways to stop being homophobic is just to realize some people are born this way. And it's really challenging, just to understand, especially as a young person, what do you mean people are born this way? Because most people are they're not homosexuals, right? Most people are straight, right? They like the opposite gender. So you have to ask yourself, why are these certain groups of people liking the same gender? And that always boggled my mind. It would kind of shake. I'm like, wait, what? And it's just hard to unravel these things as a kid, especially even adults. Like they don't know. It's hard to understand these things. But as I grew up, I started, asking other people, talking to people that were, homosexuals, that were gay, lesbian, trans. I spoke to my doctor, people born this way. He's like 100%. And I came to realize that, when you look out through history, there was always homosexuals, but they would always be prosecuted, you know? They would always run from us, they would live in hiding from us because they would get prosecuted, they'd get killed. They would kill them, bad treatment. But they were always there, But I think now, as we're in advanced society and we're going even more advanced, they're coming out of the shadows, especially now they're out, right? Obviously, the LGBTQ community is basically out. I feel like from 2015 and above, it really started from there when things started taking the shifting point. Now it's like really, really out. It's like in your face. But I think, obviously, I'm not homophobic, but I don't identify with that. So, if there's gay people or not, not trying to be rude, everyone has their own values, but I wouldn't want to hang out with them or be friends with them. But I wouldn't hate on them. Before I would hate on them, like, ew, these people, they're worse than animals. But I think as I got more educated, I started realizing that I don't want to be with them. I don't want to hang out with them, but I don't want to be rude to them or think less of them because they are human at the end of the day. And I think what really did it for me too was when one gay person told me that, why would I choose to be this way? Why would I want to do this just to be silly or be stupid? My whole family threw me out. People bully me. People treat me bad. Why would I choose this life? And I started contemplating about that. I'm like, this guy has got a point. Why would you choose this on purpose? And then everyone's gonna fucking hate you. No one's gonna want to talk to you. So why would you choose it? So then I can realize, people are kind of just born this way. And the way I'm seeing life, it's a very narrow view way of seeing life. You're only seeing it in one lens, in your own lens, which is bad, right? Which is bad. That's why a lot of people don't have friends or family and they become miserable and they hate life. It's because they're seeing life through one lens and that's their lens. That's all they know. They're not kind of realizing everyone's different and everyone has their differences from me, and we have to respect those differences. You know, if peace and balance is going to prevail over tyranny, then everyone needs a say. Everyone needs a say in society. Everyone needs to have a voice in society. Everyone, good or bad, everyone, right? That's how we get rid of tyranny. That's how peace prevails. But yeah, I'm really happy in how far I came from, being homophobic, from being scared, from hating them. And I think a lot of that is religious upbringing too, because in religion you can't be homophobic, right? So Muslims people, they don't like that stuff. You're going to hell. And I always thought that was kind of silly, you know what I mean? And I'm like, so millions and millions of people are going to hell for being gay. Like, yeah. But straight people have sex all the time without marriage, but they're like, yeah, they'll go to hell, but if they repent and get married. And there's a lot of tossing and turning, and obviously religion's like old school, right? We're living in an advanced society, so we have to advance ourselves, right? We're not animals anymore. We're not barbaric anymore. We have brains we're able to use. We can communicate. We can speak. We have many different languages, complex systems that we need to utilize. But that's what I kind of ended up realizing, that there's no need to be scared. There's no need to hate on people, because that just shows you're lacking. Like I said, I wouldn't be friends with them, right? But I don't hate on them. Like I see two gay guys or two lesbian girls, I've said whatever. I'm just gonna walk my way. I'm gonna walk my way and go wherever I'm going, and that's called maturity, right? That's a sign of maturity, like you're growing up, um, and that's part of life, right? So I just wanted to make this video because if anyone's struggling with being homophobic, hopefully this video kind of helps them and stuff like that. That's just my take on it, my experience. And obviously, as creatures, a species of the human, we learn through our experiences, but we can also learn through other people's experiences. That's the amazing thing about being human. You know, human beings are strong because they have the ability to change themselves. And I certainly did. I went from someone with a low IQ, someone who was depressed, so I kind of have depression, but getting better, someone who didn't know how to speak to people, and people hated on me because I was seeing the world through my lens. I'm like, it's what I want. It's not about what the other person wants, right? So as I start looking at other people's sides and their differences, people start liking me better. People say, oh, he's a good person. So we just have to see the life through other people's lenses and remember everyone's different, and we have to respect everyone's differences. That's it for this one, guys.